Just over a year, my name's Sheena. Just over a year ago, Anna and I were asked to form a committee to improve the quality of life for residents at Glover's Court. And the first thing the residents said to us was, can you do something about the parking? So this has been a journey that's taken over a year to arrive at this point. We're a sheltered housing community of 25 flats. Over half the residents are between 70 and up to the age of 96. 6 of us are over 60, 3 are over 50. At least 50, practically 50% of the community are registered disabled. And I'd like to really say that I don't have a car, so haven't got anything to gain with with this application.
Okay. Why we're making this request, we are possibly the only sheltered housing community in Wiltshire without secured parking. The area in front of Glover's Court is used regularly by recreational groups, critical visitors, disability transport and other services. Cars and commercial vehicles continually obstruct access to the building. The refuse collection area, ambulance bay and drop curbs. Holidays and weekends are a nightmare.
These are some of the things parking photographs that we've taken over the past year. As you can see, there's a drop curb where that huge blue vehicle is parked in the upper left.
Come here,
the ambulance bay is often blocked by cars parking across it. The rubbish bins cannot be emptied because cars are parked so close that the dustbin men can't get to them. We have a number of groups. Every day there is a group of people meeting at Glover's Court. And so we need access to the ambulance bay for the disability transport. The key thing is that at the moment, because there are so many cars parked in the area, the people driving the mobility transport and the ambulance, they have to reverse in, which is a very tricky manoeuvre if you know how narrow the roads are around West Street.
Okay. Right. Why do we need the parking? Well, we have critical visitors, obviously. We have carers, district nurses, who often visit up to 4 times a day, 7 days a week, and every day of the year. That's Christmas Day included. Visitors to the elderly, housebound residents as well. Relatives who collect and deliver shopping 7 days a week and care for their elderly relatives, obviously. And we have disabled residents with cars.
We have recreational groups who use the facility every single day during the week. On Monday, we have a disabled club with 20 people and the helpers. On Tuesday mornings, we have a coffee morning, which now has grown to 30 people with helpers. Malmesbury Abbey take a communion service on Wednesday for 12 people. It's always a minimum of 12. Then on Thursday, we have a yoga class in the morning and an osteoporosis class in the afternoon. And then on Friday, alternate Fridays, we have bingo and a resident's lunch. So it's always busy, and there's always a call for parking, and there's always cars going, needing space to drop people off and pick them up.
Right, parking for services. Obviously, Westlea staff and their maintenance people need parking, and that's been really, really difficult over the last few months. We have taxis every day of the week picking the elderly up and dropping them off. We have a podiatrist who calls fortnightly. They have heavy equipment, and they very rarely can find anywhere to park, so they park across the ambulance bay. The chemist calls at least twice a week, delivering prescriptions. We have a chiropodist, and the equipment again is heavy. They visit fortnightly to the elderly. We also have various visiting hairdressers with their equipment, and they come on obviously weekly basis. We have Wiltshire Farm Foods, and they deliver heavy containers of frozen foods. They have actually replaced Meals on Wheels, and the poor man, he can never find anywhere to park. Thank you.
So what are we asking for? We're really requesting that Wiltshire Council could transfer, if they could transfer the ownership of the area marked in green on the map that you're about to see to Westlea, which would allow us to make 6 or 7 parking places. This would also, we would like to protect the turning area so that the ambulance bay, which is marked in yellow on the map that you're going to see, and the drop curbs can be protected, and that the dustbins can come and actually collect the rubbish, because I think we're into fortnightly collections as from October, and it's going to be very difficult if they don't, stuff's going to be left for a month if it isn't able to be collected.
Well, we'd like to hand over to Steve Cross, who is here, I believe, and he's going to fill you in on the details on the map now showing on the screen. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. My name's Steve Cross. I work for Wiltshire Council Highways. We've just heard the concerns that the care home have got regarding the parking situation outside the care home in Glover's Court. As the road and parking bays are classified as highway, I've been asked to consider options available. These options effectively are to make no change, which is pretty self-explanatory and won't really resolve anything at all. The possibility of introducing double yellow lines that will prohibit any parking altogether. Obviously, you wouldn't put double yellow lines around the parking bays, but if you take all the rest of the parking areas away, again, it's not necessarily going to help the whole situation. You could introduce some sort of parking control. By that I mean limited waiting times. These aren't that flexible. Introducing limited waiting periods may prevent long-term parking, but the available periods may not meet the requirements of the users of the care home. Stopping up order. The stopping up order removes the highway status and allows the land to be sold free of public rights to be managed privately. There is another option I didn't put on the slide, I apologise, and that is to consider residents parking. Did look at this one, and Glover's Court, the size of Glover's Court wouldn't really be considered on its own as it's too small for residents parking. Thanks. Okay. The best solution that would meet a lot of the issues that the care home have is to apply for a stopping up order of the parking bays, which was shown on the map earlier. It's fair to say, I think, that if Glover's Court was built these days and the roads adopted, the Highways Office wouldn't actually adopt the parking bays, only the road itself. However, this was adopted back in the mid-70s, and under the Highways Act, once land is classified as highway status, the only way to remove this status is to have the land stopped up by a magistrate's court. If these parking bays were stopped up, then they'd no longer be needed for highway purpose, in which case these could then be obtained by Westlea to administer. This would likely be done by using lockable bollards to prevent unwanted parking in the bays. One question that was put to me was why not stop up the whole length of Glover's Court, and we did consider this, but there are some local residents along West Street that have off-street parking which they access through Glover's Court. Making Glover's Court private would affect their right of access. The effect of this is if vehicles can access Glover's Court but are not using the parking area, they will need to be able to turn around as well. Therefore, the turning head can't be stopped up either. If the decision is to pursue a stopping up order, then There may still be a few other issues with vehicles parking along the road in Glover's Court. We saw some examples earlier of the parking across the crossing points and the ambulance parking area. It's possible that this situation may ease or it may get worse, but I think if you pursue the stop and up order, we'd have to monitor the situation along the rest of the road and then see what we do in the future. Currently, I know that the care home and local police do place notices on vehicles that are causing obstruction, a polite notice to ask them not to do so in the future, and that will continue in the short term, I'm sure. However, if we stop up the parking areas and there's still an issue with parking along Glover's Court, then the council will have to make consideration then for yellow lines if that's the only option to stop that parking obstruction in the future.
Well, we obviously, my amendment is that we are supporting the process of stopping up.
Toby, would you like to say whether you support it or not? Carol? Yes. Simon? Claire? I support it as well.